Welcome to another edition of Through the Fire in the SBN Small Business Network podcast. I am your host, Ryan Wickline. And today I wanted to talk about sacrifice. With Easter approaching, I figured this would be a great topic to talk about. And the reason I say that is because this is the reason for all my success that I've had. It is what I've been willing to give up in order to achieve that goal. I've pushed all of my chips in the middle and said, hey, no matter what I have to give up, I'm going to go accomplish this. And this is my understanding of this is the reason why a lot of my clients have been so successful. Is because I understood this. So before I even start talking about setting goals or hear what their goals are, for that matter, I ask them one simple question. What are you willing to give up to go get it? What sacrifices are you willing to make that goal become a reality? And a lot of them sit there and ask me, why do you ask me this? Like, what's the point of this? And you might be asking the same thing. But I need everybody to understand there is a price of admission to go get anything you want. If you don't understand that you are going to have to give up something in order to achieve this or achieve anything you want, then you're sadly mistaken. You can't go accomplish anything big in life if you aren't willing to go make the sacrifices to make it happen. Like I said, there's a price of admission to the game, and you better be willing to pay the price. You're going to have to pay something more than what the other person that's trying to achieve the same thing is trying to get. Because it's oftentimes not the most talented person who wins. It's the person who is willing to give up the most. Because that's what it takes. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to walk you through, four things. The most common four excuses I hear of what people aren't willing to sacrifice. I said, I don't have them in any specific order. And I said, I'm not trying to offend anybody here, but I've had these same excuses before of why I couldn't do something. And once I realized you have to let it go and not worry about that and just focus all your time and energy on the pursuit, things got a lot easier. So the first thing, most common excuse I hear is these other people don't believe in me, or they think I'm crazy because I'm trying to achieve something bigger. And I know some of you are probably like, man, that's an excuse? Yeah, it's a big one. I've had this excuse before too, where certain people didn't believe in me, or they were talking bad, calling me crazy, that I didn't go out and try to achieve something, but I was left with a lot of regret. So I've realized something during the process is a lot of people are going to come against you and tell you that you can't do something. You can't let somebody else's opinion of what you're trying to do matter as you're trying to step out of your comfort zone and achieve something great in life. There's going to be people who call you crazy. I'm called crazy every day of the week because I'm doing something different and not trying to stay where I'm at. But that's also a level of self-awareness. I know that I need to be pursuing something bigger than myself at all times, or else I'm not growing. So you cannot be living by other people's validation of you and other people's opinions of you matter through anything. You have to have that common belief in yourself that, hey, no matter what, I'm going to go achieve this. And they can call me crazy all they want, but I'm going to be bigger and I'm going to step out of my comfort zone and go chase down my dreams. And it's the one thing I've learned is those people's opposition is what's going to propel you to that next level. So as you step out, those people are going to come against you and try to hold you in place, but you have to rise above that. And that tension and friction is going to push you higher and elevate you higher than what you could go on your own. One thing I learned was on them bad days and them hard days, when I felt like quitting a lot of times, I would replay everything in my mind of what people had said that I couldn't do it. And I mean, it was crazy. I would play this over and over of these people telling me that I could not do something in my head. And I just let it propel me when things got tough. Because I wouldn't give these people the satisfaction of watching me quit. I would not do it. That's just something inside me that I will not give somebody else the satisfaction of watching me quit and lay down so they can have the last laugh. I said, then a lot of times you'll realize that the same people who told you couldn't do it will come along after you do it and act like they believed in you the whole time. I've seen it countless times. Other ones will try to ride on your coattails and said that they had a part of it when they never were around. That's the crazy thing. Like, anything is possible. So don't rely on what other people are saying. Focus all your time and attention on the goal. That's it. On the process. All your time, energy, and focus has to be on the process of stepping out of your comfort zone and achieving that. Period. So the second one I always hear, I don't have time. This is the biggest one I probably hear the most. I don't have time. When I hear that, I just think to myself, why don't you just say it's not that important to me? Because if it was important to you, you would make the time. How many hours do people spend on their phone, scrolling through social media, or watching stuff that they shouldn't, watching TV, Netflix, all that stuff, right? They're wasting their time on stuff that does not matter. And one thing I like to get through to people is this one aspect. So, say two people are competing for something, for the same thing. One person shows up only when they feel like it, when the conditions are perfect for them, when they have time. The other person is obsessed with it, meaning their whole life is revolved around achieving that goal. That every choice they make is predicated on being successful so they can achieve that goal. So that means they're putting in the extra work. They're not doing things that they shouldn't be doing. They're studying more. They're continually growing, working on themselves, all in order to achieve that one goal. Who do you think's going to win? I mean, it's not even a question. It's just like an asinine thing when people tell me they think they're going to achieve something, yet they have this excuse. I don't have time and I only show up, once a month? Once every 2 weeks? I mean, if you had a job and you only showed up once a month or once every 2 weeks, you probably wouldn't be having that job very long, would you? Exactly. I mean, it's kind of asinine when I hear people think that they're going to achieve something, but that's what they should when they only show up that amount of time. I mean, it's just kind of laughable. I mean, they're not even willing to pay for parking to the game to get in. Like, you can't even talk to me about getting in the game when you can't even pay for the parking to get in, to get to the arena. So the third thing is resources. I understand resources are tight a lot of times. And you have to be wise about like what you spend the money on. But I'm going to tell you, nothing's free in this world. Like, a lot of people, they pay for college educations. I mean, that's a commitment, a lot of resources spent. But think about the skills and everything you developed by getting that. I mean, one simple way that somebody explained it to me was, if you invested $1,000, or if I were to give you $10,000, would you invest $1,000? Most of us would, right? Well, get this one. Say you would make $1 million if you gave them 10,000. We would all probably do it, right? Exactly. That's what the same thing as investing in yourself is. So personal development is so important. Like everything you need to do is to become a better version of yourself to achieve something, whether it be get a promotion, have a better relationship, go achieve something great in any arena or avenue of business, life, school, whatever it is, athletics, whatever it is, you have to become that person. And nothing is going to be handed to you for free. I mean, I've paid, if we were to add up the amount of money I've paid people just to get into rooms with certain people so I could pick their brain, because success leaves clues. Like successful people will leave you clues on how to become better. So once I learned that, I was more willing to spend money to invest in myself, because I knew the more skills I developed, the more money I can make in return. It might not be right away that I see the returns, but if I continually invest and grow in them areas to become a better person, that like more, I will get more resources in return. Like money is not an object. I mean, sometimes it's tough for me, like to have to pick which things I'm going to go do and like which areas I want to go develop in. I mean, but so nothing's going to be handed to you. You just have to decide, hey, this is for me and this is what I want. So I'm going to have to invest this money in this resource so I can become better. I mean, it's simple as that. If I were to tell you a couple things I've sacrificed with resources, you would call me very, very crazy. Like one thing comes to mind is I've sacrificed higher paying jobs for lower paying jobs so I could go achieve a dream. Now that's crazy. Most people won't do that, but I've done that twice now. Twice I've done that because the dream was calling me and it was more important. And it pays off in the end. To me, it does. I will push all my chips in the middle and say, I am betting on myself that nothing is going to get in my way and stop me of achieving this. And I'm going to bet on myself, period. I believe that if you invest and put your whole heart and soul into something and don't quit during the process and continually evolve and get better, you can't fail. I'm going to tell you that. You cannot fail because you're putting everything you have into it. You will find a way to make it happen. That's what most people don't understand, that if once you go all in and you just put everything you have into it, you will not fail. I promise you that. I'm a testament to that you will not fail at anything if you just put your whole heart and soul in everything and refuse to quit. I mean, it's pretty crazy thing to think. I mean, you will fail to begin with, like you'll have setbacks, but you just have to rise above it. So it's like you just have to make that commitment to become a better person and say, I won't quit through the process, and you'll achieve it. And like it said, Vince Lombardi once said, the harder you work for something, the harder it is to quit, which is so true, because the more work you put into something, you won't quit because you've already put so much effort into it. You're like, I got to see this through. And that's what I'm saying, that you will accomplish it if you put your whole heart and soul into everything. So the last one is people. This was one of the hardest ones I've ever had to do before, because I'm a loyal person and I try to give loyalty to people who've been loyal to me. But sometimes you have to cut people loose. They're not meant to go with you to that next level. That's what I had such a tough time figuring out for the longest period in my life, was sometimes you have to cut these people loose in order to reach that next level. And I'll talk more about that when I get into community and everything, about how important having a strong community is to have being successful. But that one was probably the hardest one I've ever had to do, was learn about having to sacrifice people, time with them, energy given to them, everything. That sometimes your calling is different than theirs and you have to veer off, and hopefully one day you meet again. Maybe, maybe not. I mean, but that one's the hard one. And you have to recognize that sometimes the people that you surround yourself with are just holding you back anyways. that they're not meant to take you to that next level, and you can't pull them up with you no matter how hard you try. That once God decides that it's over, it's over, you know? So be ready to make those 4 sacrifices if you ever want to just get to that next level. Because like I said, the victory usually goes to the person who is willing to sacrifice the most. And that is the only reason I have achieved a lot of the success I've had, was what I've been willing to give up. It's not about being more talented, smarter, more gifted, anything. I mean, there's a little bit more that went into it, but this was a lot of it. I once had a friend ask me, and this was the funniest thing. He asked me, he goes, "Why do you give up so much time and energy helping those kids?" And I had to think about that for a while. Like, man, I am. Like, I'm sacrificing time with friends, family, everything, going to tournaments with all these kids, like being gone all weekend long, missing overtime at work, everything, sacrificing all that to go help these kids and be a part of their journey. And when we made it to the state finals match, my friend came and watched. And I just told him then, I go, "Oh, hey, this is what it was for." Moments like this, to watch this kid have an opportunity to go out here and to try to accomplish his dream and goal. Like, you can't put a price on that. Like, just to be a small part of that journey, like, it just meant so much that it's like, hey, if you're willing to sacrifice all that to help these kids and to help people become better, sacrifice your time and energy for that, I mean, you're really truly doing the Lord's work. And that's what I truly believe. I mean, so remember this: you will never achieve anything great if you're not willing to sacrifice something to get it. There's a price to be paid, and it all depends on what you're willing to give up compared to that person across from you, because there's other people trying to achieve the same thing you are. So you have to recognize, hey, if I want to win and I want to be the very best I can be, I have to give some things up. A lot of things you're going to give up, it's going to hurt and it's going to be painful. But we'll talk about suffering some other time. Remember, the only way to get what you want is to go through the fire.